What are you supposed to say, Thomas?
Hi, you need to check out Two Bros Podcast.
Because Thomas said so.
Because Thomas says so.
And what about Chuck?
Yeah! That's what they said.
Two Bros Podcast.
What up, it's your boy Chad O. Out here in LA.
Time to get lost in the subway. Thank you, Valencia, but I'm about to head on the train heading to Madrid. I'm telling about Two Bros Podcast on 13 Ghost TV. Like, subscribe, and send us a few messages. I don't hablo mucho español, but I'm doing the best I can.
We can show up. We can show up.
See, all it takes is a couple of clicks.
Clickbait. Oh, boy. Good afternoon, Mr. Whitfield.
What's up, Mr. Whitfield?
That's weird. Doesn't sound weird.
What?
Saying someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah, I do that to my son a lot, and I go,
Mhm.
Mr. Whitfield. And he goes, or when the kids, like, he has classes and students we run into, like, we'll see him in the mall, or some, Mr. Whitfield, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? And they go, oh, the other Mr. Whitfield.
The other one.
And they're like, you're not Mr. Whitfield. And I'm like, I am.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. Howdy doody, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Good to see you. Good to be seen.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to be here in the studio.
What a wonderful day. It is Two
studio.
Bros Podcast, episode 121. Damn it. What a wonderful day. I don't know if you've enjoyed the inauguration as I did.
I didn't see it.
Really?
I didn't watch it.
Okay,
I didn't pay attention. I don't really care.
You don't like the fanfare. You don't like the ceremony.
Yeah,
you don't like the ceremony.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not a big ceremonial
Okay.
guy. I don't like. I don't like attaching myself to. Like, everybody's making it like this is the greatest thing since they decided to bag salads, and it was like, oh, okay, it's an inauguration, so let's calm down. I did listen to the poem by that young lady. And I thought that was wonderful. I thought she was
Amanda.
fantastic.
Yeah. What a fantastic poem. What a fantastic poet. What a fantastic talent
yes.
she was. And so nice of them to recognize this. And I, if not for nothing, it just gave a glimmer of hope. It gave some sort of feeling like, wow, we can be civil, despite the week ago, the whatever that was,
Yeah. It's yes.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. Poise and
We can demonstrate that.
yeah,
Yes. But,
acting like it is half the battle, right?
right.
Acting civil is half the part of
Right.
it.
But we have to choose that.
True.
We have to choose that. I think a lot of we're not as righteous as we'd like to claim ourselves to be,
Yes.
and our opposition is not as evil as we'd like to box them in to be.
I agree.
I think we're a little bit more alike at times, and so sometimes we have this tendency to sort of act like, okay, well, we're the pedestal we stand on is a little bit higher than somebody else's, and I think we tend to forget that we have those moments in which we can also be petty and stuff. But that has nothing to do with what the inauguration is.
Oh no, but again, to your point, I think it's been commonly said we have more alike than we do apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those things are what I guess if people kind of look at it and say, damn, this is a great country. If we look at the big picture, damn, this is a great place to live. Damn, this is and I always say that to people who haven't traveled,
Right.
who haven't been anywhere in the world. They have no idea, only on vacation when
Right.
someone waits on you and
Well,
you get service.
it's a resort,
Right.
So that's not.
That doesn't count.
It doesn't count
I
to an
really-
extent.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. You haven't visited Africa if you've just gone to the resorts and the cool places like the white sand beaches,
Right, exactly.
Morocco
Stuff that's made for you.
and yeah.
A lot of people forget, like a lot of those, like let's say if you go to Mexico, let's say if you go to some of the nice resorts that they have in Mexico or some of the nice areas that they have in Mexico.
Yeah.
A lot of those places are kind of guarded by cartels.
Yeah.
Because the cartels are basically saying, hey, look, we don't want you fucking this up.
It's a magic trick.
We'll protect it to make sure because we need the money, because as long as this is coming in, they're not going to fuck with us. So I think a lot of people don't realize how guarded those places are.
Oh, 100%. I mean, tourism, to that faction, the tourism business of international, has always been that sacred line in the sand.
Yes.
That's like, hey, leave these fuckers alone. This is a
Right.
pipeline for us.
It's pipeline for us.
It
Right.
keeps people coming, and
There
as
you
long
go.
I think I told this. Did I tell you the story when we went to Jamaica? We went for a wedding in Jamaica.
Mhm.
It was a destination wedding.
Mhm.
Don Sinkfield's wedding, actually, which is no longer. Which
Well, okay, but you had a good time.
yeah, had a good time. We had a great time. Yeah, they're no longer married together. They've grown apart. But the point I was trying to make is, we went to a club.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened to be a night that my wife says, you know, I really don't feel like it. I don't want to go. This doesn't rub me.
Okay.
And I was like, party pooper, you know, like, come on, we're in Jamaica. We got our white linen on. We're gonna go fucking hang out and see what the real Jamaicans. And the guy who took us to drive us said, listen, I'm taking you to a club. It's off the resort.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Because once you get off the resort, you're in the locals, you know, in their club. And some of us were yay, some of us were nay, some of us were like, nah, I don't think so.
Right.
We're not so smart. And some people stayed behind, and most of us went. Those of us that did go, we had a great time. We had a fantastic time, but there were a lot of sketchy people out, and it was like, yeah, brother, yeah, man, shake my hand. He put a pack of Wrigley's gum in my hand, Big Red, yeah, Big Red. I think it was one of those gums or something like that. And they go, give me $50. And I was like, no, thank you. Yeah, man. See, me could be out here bang you upside your head and take you and rob your things. Me try and be a friend to you and give you something, a gift, and you reject me. You reject me. And he let it fall on the let it fall on the floor. And I was like, yo, listen, man, come in the club. I'll buy you a drink, but I ain't buying fucking gum. I'm not putting this. No, thank you, my man. And then no sooner than we turned around, we heard a whistle, and one of those Keystone Coppers came out. Like Jamaicans have like British cops with the helmets on. Yeah, man, you mess with the boy? He said, him touch you? Him touch you? I said, no, he didn't touch me. He didn't. He said, what'd I tell you about? Get and scattered them off like a. But boy, did he wrap this guy on his head so hard. I felt bad that he beat him like that, and he was like, "What I tell you about messing with these people, man?"
It's amazing. We don't we take a lot for granted about what the rest of the world is. I remember when I was in the military, and I had an opportunity to go to the Philippines. Loved the Philippines. Loved it. And if I would single men, and the Filipino women are very generous. Yeah. If to put it to a nice word. But it's a very, very poor area. Yeah. And I remember these kids would come up to us and ask us for money and stuff. And I remember I took something out of my pocket, and it fell like a coin. I couldn't even been more than like a quarter what it was. But then all of these kids dove to scramble and were pushing each other for this quarter. And it suddenly dawned on me, says, wow, that's a level of poor that I can't even conceptualize.
Yeah, you don't know what they're like.
Right.
That was like dinner. That was like a decision.
Exactly.
That was really a choice.
There's a river that's called shit. They call it Shit River, simply because it's not a. They do everything in there. They bathe in there, and they defecate in there, and they wash their laundry in there and stuff like that. And people were taking coins and like throwing it in the river, and these kids would jump in that river and to go look for it.
Wow.
So yeah, it's when you make that comment, I think there's a lot about the world that we sort of take for granted. Yeah. And we kind of look at us and say, oh, we're so fucked up. And say, okay, do a little bit of earnest traveling, and then come back. Right. And then reevaluate
or
your
just
position.
Appreciate. I think you'll get some appreciation when you see some third world countries or you see some underdeveloped countries. Yes. Did Putin make some sort of a statement about Africa? Did you hear this?
No.
This? I read Washington Post or somewhere again in the sometimes I don't know if it's the real news. Like it just comes like these flashes.
Yeah, these little flashes come up sometimes.
And you gotta kind of like scroll all the way down and be like, who said that? Like who wrote this? And there was an article about Putin saying Africa is a cemetery for Africans. Vile statement that said, how could you develop a country where they live, they grow up there, they leave to educate They send their kids to Rome. They send their kids to England for study. They do all this stuff outside. They export all their resources and come home to die. Like they bury themselves home. And it was a vicious statement. And I looked at it and was like, this is fucking weird. Like why now? Like
that's hard.
Yeah, I mean, must have been like somebody was planning on like, hey, would you send some development over here? Yeah. Build a resort? And he was like, no, well, why would we? It's fucking cemetery. It's like saying, why would we build on a cemetery? Which I thought was pretty vile.
Wow.
And then the ceremonious part of the inauguration, the highlight, turned out to be Bernie Sanders.
It will live in infamy.
And I had to jump in on it.
It is the greatest thing I have seen. It's every time I see it, I just write, the internet wins again.
Internet wins again.
It's undefeated.
Here's a guy from Vermont that knows how to deal with the weather. And he's basically saying, fuck all you guys in these fancy suits and stuff. I'm chilling. I got what I need here. I got my coat. I got my mittens.
Oh my God.
Every one of them was fantastic.
My wife said, how many Bernie Sanders memes are you going to put up on the podcast? I said, I guarantee you Chad's going to load them up.
Oh,
they're going to be loaded up. He's probably sitting right here, right next to us.
I started to do it. I was going to do it on the screen and put it and have him behind us the whole show. And then I thought it was just too overkill. Like we don't want to kill it. So I of course had to post the one at the Rock, and
that's awesome.
And I did that one. Like my wife actually asked, she said, how come no one's did the Weekend at Bernie's? Like,
oh,
well, that's what I scoured the internet looking for it. I couldn't find it. There was some Weekend at Bernie ones previously when he was, the 5% of the 10% and the 6% of the, and they said maybe Bernie is dead. Like it was one of those type of things, but it was none with that. I found that to be amazing. So I started off the journey doing that Weekend at Bernie's, and I was gonna put me and you superimposed on the two guys from Weekend at Bernie's holding Bernie up.
I tell you what, if nothing else comes of this administration, that fucking meme will last forever. Yeah, and you know what? You know what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Everybody's having fun with it now.
Yeah.
Everybody's having fun with it now. It's put up in different spots. We're gonna forget about it. And like 2 years from now, something's gonna come up, and you're gonna pop it in again, and we're gonna relive this whole shit again.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like forever.
Yeah. That seems to happen a lot. I mean, listen, you'll have a few things. You'll have when Bernie does something. If he asks for anything, they'll show it. If he happens, at some point become, incapacitated, whatever. He's old. The guy. He's an old guy. So
there's no thing that's going to happen that meme would not be out of place.
Right.
That would just I could just imagine, like when movie theaters start opening up, when
Bernie's sitting
he's going to be sitting in front of the movie theater. Come on, at the drive-through, it'll be everywhere. We need to check that.
Yeah.
If you move that.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right. This meme will live forever, and the internet wins again.
It's undefeated. What? It's catching up to Father Time.
Damn,
it's catching up to Father Time. It wins all the time.
I just couldn't help myself. And for all the people that jacked my meme of the Bernie at the Rock, thank you, because I
just give some credit. That's all.
That's all I said. Give some credit, but I watermarked my name in there. If you
did you?
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
If you zoom in on it, you'll see my name in it. So if you repost,
nice.
I got you.
Nice. We followed you.
Yeah, planted a little seed in there. But
nice.
But yeah, man, that was so much fun. The young lady, her poet was amazing. I thought Amy Klobuchar did a wonderful job of kind of emceeing. She was kind of like the MC of.
Was she?
Yeah, I don't know how they chose her, but she just was like now back to you, Chuck, and back to and she was like the MC. Yeah, so long. We're in it. We're here, and all the people who thought that this day wouldn't come, it's here, and move on. We have to carry on and be civil, and now there's not enough vaccines to go around, and they're still fighting for do you get it, do you not get it, who's getting it, who's dying from it.
It's just more confusion. It's and I think the sad thing is that we kind of like knew this day was coming. So why is there the confusion
The
now?
unpreparedness, right?
Yeah, it just we just seem unprepared, and this is the shit that we were supposed to be preparing for.
Yeah.
So
in today's news, or today's mayoral, I watched the mayoral,
Mm-hmm.
Especially the Sunday one, because it kind of gives me a head of what's happening in the city.
Okay.
For some reason, it's just the Sunday one is always the one that I think people. He says a lot in the
Mm-hmm.
Sunday one that you go, oh shit, this is happening. Like, you know, and during the week you kind of can miss the, you know, the little
it's a little more
nuances.
comprehensive.
Today's he rolled out a ton of programs, a ton of plans for New York, a ton of initiatives that are they're building all these new biomedic centers here in Manhattan.
Okay.
They got all these, you know, the Princeton Club, the what's this guy, Rockefeller, all these hospitals and all that. They're building one in the Bronx. They're building, I mean, you're talking about 100,000 jobs.
Okay.
You're talking about 100,000 jobs in this new medical, trying to make New York the mecca for medical advancement.
So the goal of it is what? It's going to be research. It's going to be for patients. It's going to be
stem cell research. They're putting a stem cell lab here. There's not one currently. I didn't know this. You know, like who knows? Like more like this John Hopkins stuff and other things, dementia. You know, all the medical, just huge advancements, huge push for medical when we've always focused on the Wall Street side of business and the financial capital and all that other stuff. They're really putting a push for medical advancements and jobs, of course.
So the next question is, of course,
what do you mean?
Who's paying for it?
Oh, well, so no, these are all these big funded corporations that got granted the contracts to do and build these private development,
which means they get their share of tax breaks on it, which that's you know,
it comes with it. It's hand in hand. But the bigger picture of that was a statement that was made, and I'm sure this will get a soundbite very shortly because it just happened today. A gentleman from I think when Fox News came and, you know, they asked questions and they're allowed to give their opinions and whatever else. Right. And the gentleman said, so what about, you know, the plan Cuomo rolled out for advancing mobile gaming and all this revenue he plans on bringing in because he's going to allow marijuana, recreational, and mobile gaming. Those were the two things that Cuomo came out with and said New York is going to push to that because we need that revenue. Right. And it was a big number.
Right. And he's getting a lot of shit for that, even for that, because these things were on the table for a long time. Sure. And pretty much New Jersey said, well, why are we fucking around? Let's go ahead and do this. And it wasn't until then that Cuomo said, okay, well, we'll do it too. He seems like and so far the results from Jersey are very positive, especially with mobile gaming.
Good. But the commentator said, you know, don't we have enough problems with, you know, gambling and people going into debt and, you know, you sit from home and do it. And by the way, I have the mobile lottery on my phone now.
You can
and I won, you know.
Would you win?
$20.
Okay.
Yeah, I won $20. Anyway, to say this is that it's addicting because now I'm here. I get press a button, a little $2, $3 here, and you start going. And I'm like, whoa, I got to put this fucking thing down. Whoa, because it was getting a little annoying. But then he said, well, what about fixing, like, you can't just create these new lanes without fixing the old ones. We can't abandon all the hotels that are closed. We can't abandon the restaurants and all this other stuff and create a new revenue stream.
That's a good point.
And leaves all these people behind. Right. Do you go retrain? Is there a program to retrain hotel workers to become this, or medical workers or hospital workers and stuff like that? And de Blasio so eloquently said, oh, Jesus. In the words of how I was raised, word.
What?
You heard it here first, man. He said word. Just like that. No word up, no word is bond, no word is bond. He said in the honorable words of the way I was raised, word.
The fuck does that even mean now?
Can't make this shit up. I guess he's agreeing. He's agreeing with the guy saying, what about?
Please tell me that it wasn't a black man that asked him that question.
They don't show you. There's a caller in. These guys they call in. God. But de Blasio said the word, not the,
No. I know, but I'm.
Oh, you think he would talk in his language?
Right. I'm hoping that wasn't the case.
No. The guy, he didn't sound
okay.
African American.
So the call was it was an audio call.
Yeah,
It
because
wasn't the guy. It
it's
wasn't
still
a public,
social
okay,
distancing.
okay.
It's a you know.
Well, I
it's a
thought it might have
conference.
been like on a Zoom conference or something like that.
It could be. Maybe he saw him and we didn't. But you know, I was listening to it on the radio. By the way, I was listening to it on the radio.
What does that even mean? What?
He said word.
Word.
Oh
I hate,
man.
oh man! You see, Andrew Yang running for mayor.
Is he?
Yeah. He
I
made
think
it official.
I think you have a good run. I mean, a lot of people support him. I mean, I don't know his platform. I don't know what what's his big thing. I do remember that he was the biggest guy talking about, speaking of lottery, how it was misappropriated.
Yeah.
And how those funds, they kept saying go to schools.
Yeah. No.
He said,
He was
no,
like, no, they don't.
they just moved the needle for what we allow, and then we compensate ourselves
Right.
with them. It's weird. So
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah, his campaign is going to be interesting because he
Mm.
got a lot of attention and
Okay.
his bid for president. So I'm sure he's got a little bit of money now.
Okay.
And his big thing when he was running for president was the universal basic income and sort of us transitioning into an economy that's going to sustain the technology that we have now. You know, so sort of let's get to the idea. Let's get to the notion that, hey, you know what? There's going to be an automated machine making your burger.
Yeah.
Let's sort of accept that.
Yeah.
And then develop from that rather than trying to keep that
From happening.
person at the counter. No, let's sort of like give that person an opportunity to do something else.
Yeah. Well, every place I've been to, you know, in the last 2 years, I would say a year now, all of 2020 has been kiosk. I mean, it's been kiosk driven, and I'm quite fond of it. I really like it, except for when I want to get crazy and I want special sauces and I want all that goofy stuff, you know. But I'm okay with click, 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 click. Look, the other day we had the weekends are like, hey, what are we eating? You know,
Right.
We kind of get crazy a little bit, and we happen to have ordered TGI Fridays. We ordered TGI Fridays, and everyone's in the house doing their thing. My son's in his room. My daughter's here. My wife's. We're all doing our own thing. And my daughter sends around a group order, like it goes in a text message, and you click on it. I pick what I want. I don't have to. What are you getting? What do you get? I can do my own. Click done, and the timer is going like it's. Oh, hurry up! I got.
You need right.
I got to pick your order.
Or
The order won't go through unless everyone agrees to their stuff, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it cut down on the. Oh, so do they have what? You go on your phone, you look at the menu yourself, pick from what they have. Stop making shit up. Pick from what they have.
No, there are no lemons on this.
Yeah. I mean,
your cheeseburger doesn't come with lemons.
Oh, that is not a combination worth looking at.
It's hey, this
technology.
It's here.
Yeah,
it's here. It's going to be used. I actually there's a company called Miso, which I actually invested in.
Really?
Which is a
Miso?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's and what it is, it's an automated machinery for restaurants.
Wow. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and it's almost undeniable.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to be careful about when we say, okay, everybody now should be making $15 an hour.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, if you're a McDonald's or whatever, or even some of the bigger chains, bigger chain stores,
Olive Garden for say,
okay, I can invest in some technology. Yeah. And I don't need to have 6, 7, 8 people.
Yeah, I'll have 2.
15.
I'll have 5 people employed. Yeah. I'll pay them the 15.
Yeah.
But I have the machines and the robots.
I got the machines here. I've signed a service contract. So every month or so, somebody's going to come by and check out, make sure this machine is there. I'm sure there's going to be, I'm going to have the opportunity to train somebody on this equipment. So if there's like some low echelon maintenance that can be done, somebody on my staff can do it. And then, and that'll be it.
Engineering and technical services. I mean, listen, how many times have you gone and they say the smoothie machine's broken or you can't get, wow, fuck, I can't get it, this is here. I mean, the Jetsons, we always said, how does that happen? You push a button, the food comes out on one end and all that stuff.
That's here. You can do that.
It's here. It's possible. And
it's here. They have I've seen a lot of them. A lot of them are popping up in Manhattan right before COVID hit.
What?
A lot of those places where you just go order food and you don't see a person in sight. You go to a particular window, you know, whatever, punch in whatever you got to punch in, and your food is there.
Yeah, we're here. I mean, this is definitely the future that everyone's been waiting for. And like you said, if you don't adapt and figure out how to use it, you'll become obsolete. You'll become the people that are just grimacing about why I want to use sticks and stones. I want to, I want the old way.
I want the old way. Yeah. I mean, there's some validity towards it. I mean, look, if you're gonna go to, I mean, that's why you and I love the bar. Did you go to a bar, you sit, you talk to a bartender, you talk to the patrons there at the bartender, you have some bullshit conversation and
meaningless.
And it's meaningless. It means nothing.
Yeah, harmless, meaningless.
But
I work for NASA.
You get that. Yeah, exactly. I work for NASA. Oh, really? I shovel shit. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
The
NASA.
best was the guy from were you there with me with the guy from the King Kong show with the
King Kong show?
Yeah, he was just laid off from Broadway. I think I was waiting for you. I think I was waiting for you to get there or something. And the guy says he was just laid off from he's a engineer for the King Kong Broadway play.
Okay.
And he said that they fired me on Thursday, but made me work Friday because that's when we pick up our check. But they had one last day to go. But I gave him a surprise. And if you get to see the last show, I rolled the King Kong finger down and put it. I don't know how true this is, but again, at a bar, that's his story. That was his truth for that moment.
His truth for that moment.
And I bought him a fucking shot for that.
Why not?
I bought him a shot. I was like,
not?
good for you. You can control the King Kong finger.
That's kind of stupid to do, though. Like, hey, I'm going to fire you today, but I expect tomorrow. You to come in tomorrow and be as productive as you were. You're kind of like asking. To be dropped. Like as soon as you know that check is there, why would you not just like walk away
and
have King Kong attack the fucking audience or some shit like that?
Yeah,
exactly. Is he supposed to be this close?
But I'm sure that guy, whoever his boss was that fired him, wasn't there. Like,
oh no,
he did his stuff.
He did it from Cancun,
from a high table, and okay, you go, and everybody else got to deal with this guy. Why is Jerry so mad? And Jerry was let go.
Jerry just got fired. But so there's some examples of people doing what movie did I just see? The movie with what was it? With Denzel Washington and Chris Pine, and they're on a train.
Yes, and runaway train,
something like that. And apparently Denzel Washington was fired. He found out he was going to be let go.
Yeah,
and this was like his last day or something like that. And
yes,
as they go try to save this train and shit like that, and it could have easily been fuck this. I ain't doing this.
Risking my life for
I'm
this.
Going home.
Right.
I'm going home. I'm collecting my money, trying to get my kids out of Hooters, and that's it.
It's always the same. And we just watched another movie similar to. We went back because we've run through every movie there is possibly out, and we watched Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
That's a good one.
Great psychological fucking movie. Defense. Mr. Pendergast. But it was similar where he was fired, let go, and was like fed up with society and like, fuck this man. I'm gonna correct some things here,
He was done.
He was done. He was just totally done.
He was done. And but then you also, one thing about that movie, what it always comes back to is, he's stressed, not necessarily from the job and stuff like that. But what's at his center is the condition of his family.
Yes.
And that's a personal thing.
Right.
Like all this other, like I think a lot of the things that we deal with on a professional level are tolerable if home is okay. If home seems to be managed and I myself am in a good spot, then you know what? The bullshit I got to put up with this place. Okay, I'll just put up with that little bit of bullshit. The job is the job.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah. I'll put up with it. I'll go through the peaks and valleys. That's what a lot of people have done for such a long time, because I know that home is going to be a good place for them. And when home gets fucked up, then the apple cart gets turned over.
Listen,
and then all of a sudden that burger that doesn't look like it's supposed to look like pisses you the fuck off.
Yeah. There's a certain sense of security when when you write your bills and you pay off you're done for the month. Like you have your monthly bill writing days, and there's a certain sense of completion. Like, okay, I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good for another 30 days until, and you kind of can, nothing bothers me after everything's paid for the month, and I'm worried about the end of the next month, But you're right. I think that's the way that, people just have this, sense of like, that doesn't matter to me. Home is good. Like as long as I'm good at home.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Right. It's like a little, I mean, it pisses you off and you want things to be better, of course, but but this was, of course, was an extreme case. I knew something was up when the dude had remember his shoes? Like he had holes in his shoes and he put newspaper in the bottom of it to keep him from
hitting
the ground.
He ripped the newspaper, took his filled up his shoes, put some padding in there, and the Latin Kings came and rushed him at the top of the mountain. So you want my briefcase?
Good movie.
Give me your briefcase. How come you got two? You got two bags. I got no bags. Well, give me something. Give me something. Give me down. Give me down.
That's almost a universal theme. Like the guy who's just not gonna take this shit anymore.
Not gonna take it no more.
The person who's just done with it, and they become this other thing.
Yeah. Have you been watching Your Honor?
Who? No.
Your Honor.
No. You told me about it, but I've been just really busy. I've been busy at the house.
Oh my God. I know. Yeah, you got a lot of things to do. But boy.
Yeah, you said it before. You said this is really good.
Oh, this thing is the challenge I have with the show is I'm not sure who I'm rooting for. Like, you want to root for the guy, but he's doing some fucked up shit. Bryan Cranston is Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
He's at the point of you're like, wait, I like the guy, but you can't do that. Like, and a little bit of abuse of power with his judge role and stuff like that. Really great show, and it's like we said, the sitcom era of the week-to-week suspense is just blown away.
Yeah,
so it's really fun.
But that type of character now, it's. I mean, it's not new anymore, but there was a time when that guy was new.
Well, Goodfellas. I mean, what's the one? The show they made?
Sopranos was the first time that we like. There was a bad guy, but we kind of
him.
We rooted for him.
Yeah.
We wanted him to get his shit right.
Yeah, he came out in his bathrobe.
Yeah,
came pick this paper up.
You were like, this okay.
But he was a bad guy.
I'll let these killings you took care of. I'll let it pass because I think you're a good guy.
Oh man,
But that's the same thing with because you never saw Breaking Bad.
No,
you discovered that too with Breaking Bad.
Really?
He ends up being a very, very nefarious character, but you root for him. You want him to get it right, because you want to be on his side because you understand what he's doing and you understand why he's doing it, and you kind of like ignore all this other shit that he's been doing.
Yeah, I mean, the old rules of the rules of storyline, protagonist, antagonist, climax. The rules, like to writing an essay is like they always give you the points of you have to have this. You need a who, what, when, where, and why. You need. I think those bending of those rules, you can bend them, and it makes it fun. I mean, I think that's what people like about these kind of shows.
Yeah, well, the rules, and then you can twist them. You can twist them, and you can present one, but really be doing the other. I think that's what happens with a lot of these. Like they present one thing. But what they're really doing is doing the other. Like, okay, so they're presenting this person as a protagonist.
Okay.
But that person is really the antagonist. And if you're a fan of Shakespeare, the play Othello is that way.
You played in that.
Yes, I
remember
did.
that.
I did. If you play Othello is that way, in which it gives you the protagonist and you assume it's Othello. And the antagonist is Iago, but that's actually the other way around. The protagonist is actually Iago because he's the one who does the things that sort of sets things in motion to which everybody else reacts. And Othello, who's the main character, he's actually the antagonist. He's the person that gets acted upon.
Was this done on theater? Larry Fishburne one time? Was there an Othello movie?
The Othello movie with Larry Fishburne and Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh played Iago. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And there was
was it true to the story, or was it
pretty much
a twist? Like not like the other. What's the other Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet? They kind of twist around.
Well, that gets jacked around a lot all the time. But no, that was pretty good. The one they did. There was another one that happened. It was just simply called O, and it was with Mekhi Phifer.
Yes. That was a play. It was more.
That was that was on TV, but it was it was supposed to be. It was a kid playing basketball, and he played basketball at a big time high school.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Program. Yeah, and whatnot, and that kind of played around with some of the themes here and there, but I think that one was relatively true to it.
Oh, good.
They've done a couple in which they've switched it around, in which they've made like Patrick Stewart did Othello on Broadway, in which he played Othello, but he was the only white character and everybody else was black. Oh, as opposed to Othello being the only black character and everybody else being white. So that was kind of that flipped it up.
A play again. In other words, a way of flipping it around. Very interesting. So what's going on in the world of sports? You got anything happening?
The world of sports?
Yeah.
I watched UFC last night.
Yeah.
Big fight. Conor McGregor and Justin Poirier.
Oh, that happened last night?
That was last night.
Oh, who won?
McGregor lost.
Really?
Justin Poirier knocked him out in the second round.
Get the fuck
Yes.
out. I didn't see any memes or nothing.
Yes.
No fun.
Yes.
Well, I guess I was.
You know why? Because I think the whole world, I think you always have to be ready when the narrative is like they kind of ignored Dustin Poirier.
Really? I didn't even know who he was.
Which if like the guys inside the MMA said this is kind of stupid because Dustin Poirier is the shit. He's that dude.
Okay.
You know. Now Conor McGregor is a big name. He's a big name in the UFC. Right. He's one of the reasons why the UFC has become this multi-billion-dollar organization. Yeah. He's I mean, if you want to call him the franchise, he's the franchise. He's the reason why you watch it. And he is that dude also. So it was kind of like, okay, well, we're just waiting for Conor McGregor to get back on track and do this whole thing and blah, 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 blah. And he's going to fight some guy Dustin Poirier. Okay. Totally ignoring him.
Totally. Yeah.
He got smoked.
Wow. So, was it at least a good fight? I mean, was it?
It was a good fight.
Yeah. Okay.
But you also noticed how this isn't going to be the same fight because they fought before. They fought 6 years ago. Conor McGregor took care of him in like 90 seconds. You know, and so everybody was using that as the measure.
6 years ago.
But that was 6 years ago, and that was Dustin Poirier definitely has become such a much more complete fighter and a better person. I mean, in his press conference before the fight, somebody asked him, they said, hey, look, a lot of people are trying to use the guy who you were 6 years ago to say that that's the guy who you are now. What do you think is the biggest difference between you then and now?
How about 6 years?
And he said, the first thing he said was, definitely I think I've become a better fighter. But he said, for the most part, I've stopped giving a fuck. He said, I'm no longer concerned with how y'all think of me.
Yeah.
He's like, I just don't give a shit anymore.
Probably good words. Probably the best way to approach it because, everyone has. I think I saw this somewhere else. So, it was I'm sorry, cross-referencing Anthony Fauci's comments about anxiety, and he, played with that same concept, saying everyone wants a one-pot wonder. Everybody wants a one answer. And there's no one answer for all of this stuff. We've known that from day one. We've known. And he brought up a comment that you made on a previous episode about Peter Hotez and some other documents. And he's like, everyone keeps acting like this was a miracle vaccine. We've been working on this for 20 years. He's saying that we had SARS-1, SARS-2. This is the same technology. This is the same information and study. We didn't just wake up to the, when we found out last year and go start building vaccines.
Yeah.
SARS-2-19 is the date because we had 4, 5, 7, 9, and they had a bunch of them.
Right. Well, that's why he gets a lot of flack too.
Yeah.
Because he's been doing this for such a long time. And a lot of people tend to think that, okay, maybe you're propagating this.
Yeah.
Because you sort of see the end game rather than dealing with the actual what you have out in front of you. So, I mean, with medicine, who knows? I mean, who can, if Dr. Fauci says something, if you think he's a bullshit artist or if you think he's a genius, you don't really know the fucking difference.
Right.
Most of us don't.
And most of them never heard of the guy before this.
Exactly. Exactly. Even though he's been doing this and there's been some kind of nefarious shit attributed to him too, because apparently he hijacked somebody's research.
Stole someone's paper.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. It's something that got taken off the internet, and I actually got a copy of it. And maybe I shouldn't be saying this because people might come looking for me. This gets cut off.
You dissident.
I'll show it to you. But
Yeah.
it basically shows how somebody came up with some research that says something about the development of either the vaccine or how to treat the virus.
Yeah.
And he sort of hijacked it.
I believe it. I mean, listen,
sort of like eliminated it and
Yeah.
said, no, that's not the path we're going on. And she was like, well, this is what, the science is saying. This is what the research is saying. Yeah. We should be able to at least incorporate it into how we develop. No, this takes us off track. And
it's kind of like Will Smith jacking Rakim style in Summertime. Here it is. Like transform. Just a little bit of the norm. Just enough something to break the monotony. I mean, kind of. I mean, you kind of go there when you.
Yeah, but those are two names that I would never put in the same sentence. Listen, you're when it comes to music, you know a hell of a lot more than I do.
I've heard that's one of the stories
that he really just hijacked the.
Well, he was like part of the flow, and he was, somewhere in the room, like he was a fly on the wall, or he was at the studio. Something happened. It was real. It was a real thing where Rakim and Will Smith. Yeah. Somehow. But you never know, man.
Well, that's a shame because Summertime is a big hit for Will Smith.
Yeah, I just hope he paid forward. Hope he gave Rakim his dough, like gave him something, or gave him a little shit, give him a feature or something.
Now, when you say that, you're just saying that the style.
No, it was something real, like something really attributed to it, like the beat or something was. So
it's more than just the style.
No,
it's something that was supposed to be for Rakim. But Will Smith,
I don't know the whole story. I remember it from a documentary, and it was somebody transposing it, saying this is what happened. And Rakim even said it. He said, "Hey, dude, I had to, call him up and like, yo, like, and it was like my people, your people, and they never really got a face-to-face conversation about it."
That's interesting.
But Rakim was apparently a little annoyed that you didn't kind of pay it forward and say, yo, I did this style because it was like that. You know?
That's
like they were in the studio doing, I came in the door, said it, and they was like, do it like that, like, and they literally had that record playing and they were counting bars, and he was like, no, I can't, that's not my style, and it turned out to be a great record. Allegedly.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's the fun facts. I mean, that's where it's going. What's up with KB? He's watching him. He's doing a lot with his I see him. He's got a lot of freestyles. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
Putting out a lot of freestyles. Putting out a lot of He did this thing about Queens, which was kind of dope. And he's like digging in. I don't know if he's digging in vaults or if he's just like, I think the access he's got. I think he's got he's expanded his access and whatnot. KB's looking good, man. When you guys get a chance, man, head on over to Tent TV and we'll try to link up all of his platforms and whatnot to take a look at. But if you love hip hop, man, you really should be paying attention to what Tent TV and KB Tendall is doing.
And another segue of our affiliate brothers is the Black and Brown guys. I mean, I can't help walk into a fucking liquor store and stare at the bourbons going, I wonder if this one, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, I try, and you know what? The sugar just really drives me through the roof.
You know what? I think the difference is that you have to enjoy it. You have to drink it differently.
Yeah.
So in other words, it means you're taking it a couple ounces at a time.
Right.
You're taking it a sip here and there. You're not. It's not. You can't enjoy it if your goal is to get fucked up.
No, I agree. This was always the argument with Hennessy. It was like, dude, when I worked in the hotel, they was like, yo, Hennessy is like, you barely wet the fucking glass, and it's just, you just sip it. It's an after dinner aperitif or whatever they call it. Motherfuckers drink it like,
somehow Hennessy got into that lane where it just wasn't
chug it like, whoa. I remember drinking a half a gallon in one night and fucked up
I distinctly remember at your wedding.
Oh my God, did you see how many bottles?
The after party at your wedding.
Oh.
I'm getting ready to leave because at the time I had lived in I had flown in from Washington.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I had flown in, and I had
Spokane.
to leave, and I had little Justin with me when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to leave, and that was around the time that you guys were getting ready for your after party gigs and whatnot. And your lovely wife Keisha was talking to a friend of hers, and I think her friend was about to leave. She had to leave, and Keisha looked at her and she says, "Oh, you're leaving?" And she pulled up a handle and she says, "We got some Hennessy." The whole, like a handle of Hennessy. And her friend said, "I can stay for a little
Oh, I can
bit."
stay for a little while.
And I was like, wow.
Mm.
And I could just imagine how much Hennessy was drank that night.
Oh,
Since.
No, I'm sorry, not that one. Well, that was one too, but my 30th birthday party in the backyard.
Okay.
Rosedale. That one was at least 40 bottles.
Everybody brought a
bottle. Everybody bought a bottle. It was crazy. It was pandemonium. I have the tape. I found the video.
I always want, that's when you got to be careful, because you talked about this before. Like some people, like the bottle they bring ain't the bottle they drink. So you got to be careful about the person who's gonna like bring, like, you know, Asian age or something like that.
Yeah.
But then leave with the VSOP.
Well, you know, the rule, we have our own little commandments too on our side of the drinking side, and there's no bottles leave the establishment. Wherever you come, you bring, you drop, that's it. You don't take bottle. You never take a bottle back from, if you're coming to someone's house with something.
Yeah. This is not an exchange.
Yeah. Like we had one guy, he was like, "Oh, y'all not going to drink the stuff. I'll take my bottle back." And I'm like, all right, don't ever come back. Don't take your bottle.
Don't ever come back.
No, you can't do that.
That is yeah.
You can't do that.
That's a disobeyment of the of any
commandment.
Of any commandment.
But in speaking of sports, just to go back a little bit, we have two big games today.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Football.
Really. Yeah. American football.
American football.
Now, if Tom Brady makes it to the Super Bowl,
he'll set another record.
I mean, how do you go to GOAT? How do you go to GOAT? Like,
it's gonna be interesting.
And now the Belichick rule will be out. Like, it would be like he could do it on his own.
Yeah.
You know, that will kind of go. I don't even know who the other coach is. Like,
who for
Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay, there's a guy named Bruce Arians.
Yeah. Okay. First time was he?
No? His first time in the is it his first time in a championship game as a coach? That's a good question. I don't know. Okay. I think he might have done it when he was with Indianapolis. But I don't even
mean so much championship. But is he?
He's been around.
He's been around. He's got a record. He's proven himself.
He's been around. He's got a rep.
Good.
A good rep. He's worked with specifically some of the, like, he's worked with Peyton Manning. He's worked with Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay. So
he's not. This is, you know. He's in there and he's respected.
He's got the goods.
Yes.
Okay. And you think they're going to force Patrick Mahomes to play? You think they're going to force?
He's going to play.
He's going to play.
He is going to play.
Concussion protocol.
Concussion. Yes.
Oh,
he's out of concussion protocol. He practiced. Head coach said he looks fine. Said he's there no worries, no residual effects and anything like that. It's all full steam ahead.
Well, good. That's good. He's something
game.
Special. He's a little special kid. He's very special. He's got
that notch above.
He's got he could fall in line with these guys later. Like
he will. Yeah, we'll be speaking about him the same way we speak about like guys like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. We'll have that same conversation.
But when he got hit, he looked a little loopy though. He looked like he saw that bird.
When you stand up and you shouldn't have stood up. It just
I saw it in his face and I said, "Ooh, that look just doesn't look fun. Like he's not having a good time. He's going to throw up at any moment." Wow. So that's two big games. Buffalo Bills
and Chiefs.
And the Chiefs. And
I'm gonna say it right now.
You going Buffalo?
I'm going Buffalo.
I like Buffalo.
A lot of people like Buffalo, which is kind of scary to me because I don't know if it's like a sentimental pick more than anything else.
I'm a New York guy. So for me, it's Buffalo because they're New York.
I think Buffalo can do it. I think the Chiefs have shown. Kinks in the armor that can be exposed by Buffalo's defense. So I think it's going to be Buffalo and Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Well, what's the Buffalo quarterback? What's
Allen?
Okay. Is he any good?
Allen, very good.
Yeah, I mean, look, they put the fucking Ravens away. I
He's
mean,
next.
Yeah, he's next.
He's next.
Oh,
as
okay.
far as like, you know, when you talk about top quarterbacks,
names that you'll say,
he's there.
Yeah,
he's there now. He's sort of like cemented. I shouldn't say cemented, but he's now the guy. He's now that that guy who you talk about who's going to be that top tier quarterback.
Yeah,
he's kind of like scratching the surface right now. Made a tremendous amount of improvement this year.
Great.
And he's going to be, we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about him the same way we talk about Patrick Mahomes.
So he'll be in that rank.
Yeah,
Okay.
He'll be in that, be in that group.
Russell Wilson. What is this guy? Cam Newton done deal?
Cam Newton?
Yeah.
I think he's done.
He's officially done.
I think he's done. Well, not officially, but I just think when you watched him play last year.
Yeah. Looked like he didn't care.
Well, I don't think it's that he didn't care. It's just that it looks like it was a case where like the body didn't do what the mind wants you to do. You know what I'm saying?
We've all had that, haven't we?
And it's just that like there were just throws that he couldn't make, and there were just like physically he just doesn't look like he can do what he needs to do to be a top quarterback. You know. Now, to his credit, he's the last few years of his career he was injured.
Yep.
And he had a lot to overcome, and of course you're in a new system and all that stuff. All of those things are viable, but just looking at it, it just doesn't look like he can get that job done. You know.
And last but not least, Lamar Jackson, obviously, who's new to this whole thing, getting to this point in his career. Everyone wanted the microwave guy to, get in and do it and get there. What's his second year now?
He's his third year.
Third year. Okay. All right. So
third year.
So he's got some grooming to do.
Yeah.
Then he's got to build the pieces around him.
He's gonna be good, but I think there's enough there to ask the question. Okay, can you? When you talk about like ascending to greatness, it's almost like, okay, there are times when you have to be that dude. Now, when everybody knows you have to be that dude, can you do it? And you can say that about in any sport. In any sport, there are greats who have to be great. You got to be great today.
Yeah, I agree.
So
with that.
Can you be great today?
Yeah.
And I think the thing that Lamar Jackson is missing is that when he has to be the man, he hasn't.
Yeah.
Is he the man on that squad? Yes.
Yeah.
But now you got to be the man when everybody knows that it's you.
Lights are on,
who
man.
needs to be it.
Yeah.
And there's
right.
There's been times when he's faltered, and so I don't think it's a character thing. I don't think it's an ability thing. I think they're just, it's one of those things where like a little tweak here and there in like.
So it doesn't need to change much. He just needs to somehow he's missing one screw.
Something needs to match up, because when I watched that game that he lost, they seem so predictable. So even me, a journeyman football watcher, can say, okay, I understood what you're trying to do. So if I can do that, a guy that studied your film all the time understands that. So,
the guys that have got the X and O's and they're looking at it.
It's one of those things where you just like there's another hump that you got to get over. And I think he will. Well, I think we're going to talk about him. I think he's going to be in that same group.
This range the same way with the Brooklyn Nets, which is now have the big three that can't seem to get along. They just can't win a game collectively. Kyrie, Strange Bird, Kyrie, Kevin Durant not playing one day, James Harden playing. They're scoring magnitude of 80 points amongst themselves and losing games. And so this is going to be super tough for these guys to coexist. I think the gel has to happen. They got to figure out how to do it. But as when you look at pro players, it's like playing park ball, right? It's you play the game on the floor. You don't. Oh, he likes to go left. He likes to go. You see, you do, and you execute. You don't. There's not that much planning. It's 5-on-5. You know what I'm saying? And there's plays called out, of course. But it's happening live. It's not a lot of. Oh, I didn't think he was going to pull out his secret weapon. Right. I didn't think he was going to go left on me today. You don't do that in basketball. So it'd be very interesting to see. I'm always these instant fans that just, now I'm a Brooklyn fan. Now I'm, those microwave fans.
Well, first of all, I think one of the things that we kind of said is coming to fruition. The question is, okay, so who's playing defense for this squad?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to get back, and you got to defend sometime.
Yeah.
You know,
I was so happy at them losing those 2 games in Cleveland because you had the Jared Allen guy that you gave away for no reason. Like, I mean, you couldn't have put somebody else in that deal to get that. You need him.
It's putting a team together is a very, very interesting thing because you need this. I was listening to talk radio. They were talking about the New York Jets who hired their new head coach.
Did they?
Yeah.
Who is he?
A guy named Robert Saleh, who was a defensive coordinator for San Francisco.
Oh, good.
I mean, if you want to talk about somebody who checks all the boxes, he checks all the boxes.
Okay.
So as far as like a football guy who understands the game and can answer, like make you feel good about the possibility of what could happen next. He's that guy.
You can agree with him. I like that. Let's do it. Yeah,
right.
Let's go.
But dudes on talk radio were talking about it, and they were taking calls, and one of the callers said something that rang true just about for all sports. And they said, you know what, your top tier picks, that's your flashy guy. That's your
bright lights, big city.
That's the bright lights big guy. But the meat and potatoes of your team is going to be those other dudes, those dudes who get drafted late. Those dudes who get picked off of waiver wires.
Yeah.
That lunch pail dude who's willing to
shows up every time,
willing to get on the floor and get those burns to get that loose ball.
Balls. Yep.
You know, to get those 50-50s. Stephen Nash was talking about that. He says we suck on 50-50s. You know,
one and done.
We suck at getting loose balls. We suck at getting those that secondary rebound shot. He said we suck at those opportunities where it's simply just a matter of your will to get done what needs to
who
get
wants
done.
It more. Yeah.
You know, and those are the things that happen. And a lot of times those aren't your flashy guys. These are the lunch pail dudes. These are the dudes who come in there and, you know, you see them in the ice bath after the game because they
beat
took
themselves up. Yeah,
so who are those guys? You know, who are going to be those guys? You know, because some guys take a bullet so that KD can do his thing.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
you're right
some
about
guys some guy will take that elbow in the jaw when he's going up for a rebound because he knows that in doing that, and I give that ball back to KD, then I know that it's going to be worth it.
Someone's got to be Bo Outlaw.
Or Anthony Davis,
right?
Or Charles Oakley,
right? One of those guys. Somebody's got to be that to pick up the
that big dog who just get the fuck out the way.
Cousins. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins is a fucking. He gets fouled just for staring at somebody. He's like the Rasheed Wallace of the game now, and it's not fair. I really,
no, it's not.
It's not fair. I look at these games and I'm like, why? Like the ref, are you scared of the guy? I mean, he's a huge monster. He takes up a lot of space, and it's not fair that a little guy, just because when I swat you, you don't move. That's a foul. Like you hit me, but because I don't fall and flop and I'm a statue, you know.
It's one of those things where like your reputation sort of precedes you when you come in there, and you would like the refs to call the game that they see on the floor.
Right. That's what I meant. Yeah.
But that's, you know, that's human nature.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's human nature. I mean, how many times did Michael Jordan really get fouled?
Right. I got you. I got you. Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Nobody can touch him. And that's the thing.
All you gotta do is run by and go, ah!
Yeah. That was the big thing with like LeBron, you know, with everybody talking about LeBron writing these letters and talking to saying I'm not getting enough calls.
Yeah.
They're beating me up down there. Took my hairpiece.
I'm glad he got rid of that thing.
So am I. Dude, he was trying to fake the funk.
I know, and you make so much goddamn money. Why is this?
Get the best guy.
You got this off the corner.
My friend,
don't get it from the dude in the back of the SUV. You can get.
Yo, man, I got your
hairpiece right here.
Comes with the bandana.
LBJ.
Hire the right guy, and I think culturally it would be accepted. You know, he's a quality guy. He's a family man. You haven't heard his name smuttered around.
Right.
I think he could almost pull it off and tell people, yeah, I went and did this and I like how it looks. I you know, whatever. Change the narrative. It doesn't have to be all bad. It doesn't have to be all bad. I get on the women with the lashes and the wigs and the weaves, but it's accepted now. It's part of you want to get dressed, you want to put something on.
Look, everybody's got their thing, and if that's his thing, like if he's concerned about his appearance that way and wants to change it,
well, I don't think he is because he doesn't care now.
He doesn't care.
But the toupee, I mean, you remember the toupee, the guy flapping up that was
and they got adjusted in the game.
right. But
I
that
forgot who it was. Somebody was standing next
Anthony
to him.
Davis.
It was Anthony
like,
Davis.
He was on the
Yo,
bench
man,
like,
you should
yo,
have-
they said it. He's like, yeah, he is.
Like,
But, what? But I think the toupee is like, you know, it's come a long way. It's, you know, a little hairpiece that the guy puts it in his briefcase when he goes home, or puts his hairpiece on and goes to work. Oh man! All right, man. I think we're gonna call this one.
Let's call it.
All right, this is Two Bros Podcast, episode 121. Peace, party people. See you later.
Check out the Bernie meme.